Hello!
Hello, AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Sigmar.
Ooh. Yes, Agents of Sigmar, we're here with Skaventide. Are we the Agents of Skaventide?
Maybe.
Or are we the Agents of Spearhead?
We are the agents of the world's greatest fantasy miniatures game.
Now, I almost feel like that's setting them up for a fall before they've even started.
It's a strong start to the cell.
And how do you even measure that?
With inches, I suppose.
I tell you what it could be, and the world's heaviest.
Yeah,
because this is actually pretty good. I'm going to say horrendous now, but...
Oh my God.
That is a solid box.
So thank you very much to Games Workshop for sending us this box. We are going to give you our angle on what's inside and try and look at it from a more casual perspective.
Yeah, Pete and I are long-term Warhammer players. I played Warhammer back in 2nd edition, back in the days when Warhammer had fantasy battle rules.
Rules.
Yeah, but we don't play very often or very much.
No.
But actually, we'll talk about it later, but some of the changes with the Spearhead have made us really think, actually, this could be the addition for us.
So we're going to go through the box, the big old box to start with, and just give you a rundown of what's in there. A nice little splashy piece of artwork straight away, just to protect the outside of the inside of the box from the plastic.
I've actually had this box for over 24 hours, and I haven't opened it. It's the first time we opened it.
And there is a sea of plastic, as always.
Because I wanted this to be fresh when we opened it.
Yeah, it's definitely fresh. There's just mountains and mountains and mountains of plastic, as you would expect.
Scaveny plastic,
Stormcasty plastic,
yeah.
terrainy plastic, sprues and sprues. For a casual player, this could immediately be a little bit of a turn off.
It would be a bit overwhelming, yeah.
Oh my God, what do I do first?
I wonder if they'll do cut down versions. In the previous eras, they've done cut down versions with sort of slightly smaller things.
With 40k
I feel
and
like
stuff
they
like
could do that, and I feel like maybe with just 2 Spearhead warbands in there. Am I right in thinking there's more than enough here for each Spearhead?
Yeah, there is the Spearheads for both Stormcast and the Skaven, and then a bunch of extra models as well. So hopefully you'll think, oh, I like this Spearhead game. I'm going to play the main thing and get all of the other models out as well. Some chunky little bit, but not very much terrain, because again, it's angled at that Spearhead side of things.
Yes.
So you only get 2 main pieces of terrain and 2 small pieces of terrain. But as always, the terrain itself has more detail on than a lot of other models from many other games.
Yeah, I mean, the quality of these models, you've probably seen them on the Games Workshop website already, but the quality is amazing.
It's insane.
It's the same. It's always the same.
It's another little card protector to protect all your paper and card from the models themselves. And we've got more Giganta bases in here as well. Just try and get them out and put them to one side. And there is also, as they've already announced, the Slaughter at Hell Crown, which is the big global 3-week event that they're kicking off as soon as this comes out. This is nice. There's just 2 solid boxes of stuff and an empty box, so we'll get rid of that. Gone. Don't need it anymore.
What was worse than when I dropped it from a great height. So this one I think is going to be the rule book.
It could be, because you can kill a man with that.
This absolutely, you really could kill a man with this, and it's little plastic. I really like, actually, I do often mention this in unboxing, but there's almost no, apart from the plastic.
Part of the 50 kilos of plastic, there's no plastic.
There's no plastic in it.
Except for all the plastic, there's no plastic.
It wasn't shrink wrapped.
No,
it was
a couple of little plastic tags.
Little plastic tabs.
I know a lot of people hate the fact that it's not shrink wrapped, because the box might get scratched them off.
But it actually is 2 books.
We're gonna go through one of each of these just to go through what's in there.
Shall I do mine? Because mine is just 2 books. I think you've got all sorts of gubbins.
I've got lots of gubbins held together with bits of little card sleeve, which is quite nice.
Yeah, so we've got another sticker.
Bit of paper that can go recycling.
Yeah, it's all paper. Oh, torn that.
Oh dear.
So I have got Fire and Jade.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Fire and Jade, this is the book that's all about Spearhead.
So it actually says, what Age of Sigmar Spearhead up there.
Right at the top. So if you're playing Spearhead, this is the book you want.
Yeah, and then it says Age of Sigmar core book, and this is the core rules.
Core.
I assume it has lots of lore in it. I've just found a map already. Oh. And who knew? There's NVIDIA in here, so who knew? Yes, that's where all the AI chips are made.
Now, interestingly, we're not going to go through the contents of the Spearhead book, but it does give you all of the warbands to play with that have Spearheads currently released. It does give you some information about how the game plays, gives you some battle plans. The core rules
are all in here.
Yes.
Page 194 to page 231. Not a lot for core rules, and the advanced rules are about 10 pages of that too. And so you can play Spearhead with just the core rules. You don't need any of the advanced rules. So that is literally just over 20 pages. Factions, war scrolls, abilities, yes, I'm not going to count them, but there are an awful lot more. There are a lot more entries than there are pages.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't found any evidence yet, I actually would prefer if the core rules were separate to the big book, because you don't want to be carrying this around with you. B, it's just more to leaf through, and C, this is really lovely and a bit of a work of art, and you don't want it to get damaged.
Yeah.
I think they are going to be online, aren't they? The core rules, or
Yeah,
are they not?
I think so.
So maybe you can download them that way or use them digitally. But
we've got more stuff in here.
The maps are lovely. I have been known to be a bit sniffy, believe it or not, about Warhammer lore. I don't always find it the best, but you can't
go wrong.
You can't go wrong with that.
A nice 4-page spread. Try and yeah. There you go. I mean that's pretty immense. I do like the fact it's got all of the different sort of kingdoms gorgeous. And stuff like that.
And I think, of course, they've now had 10 years nearly to work on it, build it up, make it bigger. They've had role-playing games going on, and I feel like we're now in a position where there's as much lore for this as there was for the old world when I first used to play Warhammer. So that's the core rules. Absolutely beautiful book. Will take you about 3 weeks to read.
Yeah.
What have you got?
You get a little card sleeve here, which has got the cards in, which have the objectives and stuff. When you're playing Spearheads, you each get one of these packs. So there is enough in here for 2 people, which is nice.
Cool.
You've also got a little General's Handbook, and it's got all of the stuff, all of these seasons rules stuff, and all of the objectives things and layouts. And one thing I don't like, which is it's got like you fill this in. No one's filling that in because they don't want to get pen marks on it.
Almost like a character sheet.
It is a bit like a character sheet.
That's how they used to do it back in the day.
Back in the day. But that's cards. You don't want to draw on that. But this has got all of the general handbook stuff in, like battle tactics, death tactics, the setups. So they're all double-sided as well. So there's loads of stuff in there.
Is it battle playing?
Yeah, it's all the stuff that you get in the General's Handbook, which comes out every year, which has all the stuff in. So this is all the main stuff from the 24-25 General's Handbook stuff there. You've got millions of pages of how to stick these millions of pieces of models together.
Yeah, there's a lot of gluing involved.
And then we've got a fantastically specifically cut piece of card, just hold it all presentation. And then the last thing on the list is your board. So this is the Spearhead board. It's played on a board this size, which is an actually very, very decently sized gaming area, I think. It does unfold very weirdly. The most bizarre way I've seen a board.
It is bigger, but it's not massively bigger than 2 Underworlds boards for those who follow our regular.
4 Underworlds boards.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's a bit like the Kill Team size board, I think, and it's a nice size. It's double-sided, so there is a fiery side this side.
I love that you can play this game, Spearhead version, on this board with set armies. If you didn't know, the Spearhead armies are set in the Spearhead boxes that they do, and you can just play them straight out of the box, which is, for me, ideal. Yeah. Now,
coming at this from a casual player's perspective, you might be going, oh God, what's the general handbook stuff? What's all the rules? Why have I got so many bits of plastic here? That could be a bit overwhelming. And this is going to cost, I think, RRP is going to be about £160.
Exactly, £160, I believe.
That's a lot for a casual player. I mean, obviously you could halve it, but then you're not both going to get...
Never halve it.
No one ever halves it.
What I like about it, though, this time is that you can't play this... Okay, I keep saying this, but you can just play Spearhead out the box and play it. And I've always felt with the other previous sets that you've got 2 armies, but basically you just felt like you didn't have enough to play. Yeah. Whereas they've got these specially written Spearhead rules for smaller armies on smaller games with hopefully, we haven't played it yet, but with hopefully interesting tactical decisions to be made.
Slightly more balanced. Yeah. These cards which you use in and we'll be doing separate videos about, but the cards that you have to give you objectives that you can then use as other things all plays into it as well, which is very nice.
And I'm right in thinking that the Spearhead rules, each army faction has its own list specifically for Spearhead. So the stats and things are different.
And they are all in this book here, which we're not going to go through in detail, but you have got literally 144 pages, and most of that is just all the Spearheads that you can go out and buy the Spearhead boxes for. Right now it has all the special rules for them. They did say that they were going to make all the Spearheads, I believe, available downloads online on release day, which would be very nice. But again, as a casual player, it could be a bit overwhelming. Go, oh my God, there's all of this stuff. I don't really know what I want to be doing here. But at least they do give you the 2 Spearheads.
Yeah, you've got enough. You've got 2 Spearheads to be going on with, 1-on-1. But the biggest barrier, as usual, to playing is you've got to assemble your models first.
Yes.
And that is so. If you are brand new to this, you will need probably a pair of sprue clippers to cut them off the sprues.
Absolutely.
Because you don't really want to be doing
You could just twist them off.
Well, you could use a scalpel. I mean, I was younger, I used to use a scalpel because sprue clippers didn't exist, but it is horrible.
I think they did, you just didn't have them.
Well, yes. But anyway.
Back in my day.
Anyway, when I was, they all made out of lead. They didn't have a sprue. But yeah, you want a sprue clippers and you'll need polystyrene cement to stick them together. Sprue clippers you get from Amazon or a hobby shop, but you will need them, and it is a bit of an adventure trying to put them together. We will report back on our next video how the assembly goes. I always consider myself the lowest common denominator of assembly, so I'll let you know how many fingers I've got left when I get to the end of the process.
I feel like it's great that they've given you all the General's Handbook stuff as well, but again, for a newer player, it's got from previous ones, so it marks on the top, it says like 2019, 2020, 2021, things like that, so it gives you lots of different...
Are they battle plans?
Yeah, the different battle plans.
But I suppose if you're brand new to it, you can basically just put that to one side.
You basically do want to just put this to one side, probably put the most of the main rulebook apart from the core rules to one side, don't read most of that. Then find your armies in the Fire and Jade book for the Stormcast and the Skaven. Just build them and play some games with that first.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you said don't read it. You obviously can read it.
Oh, you can.
It's lots of more interesting information, and there's lots of pictures in here to make you feel inferior with your painting.
God, yes.
But if you are brand new, welcome to the hobby.
Whilst sorting through the spoils of war here to work out what we're going to try and stick together first, we did notice a couple of extra things that we thought was worth mentioning to newer players out there. So we've stitched this in at a relevant point to make it more relevant.
Relevant point.
First thing is that the Fire and Jade book, the core rules are in the back of this. So if you're going for a spearhead game, you only need to take this book with you and you have everything you need.
Yeah, they're exactly duplicated to these examples.
You do need these cards as well, obviously, but that's it. That's all you need is those two things and you can play spearhead.
Yeah, and you can even play without a ruler. You may notice, we noticed there are no rulers in this box. Normally, traditionally, these boxes come with the big plastic bendy rulers.
Bendy red rulers.
You might want to pop a tape measure, that's what we normally use, but you could do the bendy rulers. But there are a couple of little measurement guides on here with rats on.
Yeah.
There's a 6-inch one and a 3-inch one, which is relevant for playing the game. So your terrain does have little rulers, which may or may not be useful. We'll see how we get on with them. And there are no dice, so you will need to acquire, if you don't already have them, which you probably do know this already, but you will need to acquire some 6-sided dice.
Yeah, if you don't have any D6 in your house at all, what have you been doing your whole life? Go out and buy some, but you've probably got some lying around from another version of a Games Workshop or other game. You can use those.
And if you haven't, find any gamer and they've got more than they need.
Yeah. We are planning on doing some videos around Spearhead. Playing that out, finding out what that's all about and whether we're enjoying it, and giving you the feedback on whether that's good for casuals. So keep an eye out for those videos coming in the future. Yeah,
we've got a couple of Spearhead armies each to play off against one another, I believe.
Yeah.
And but they are most of those said Spearhead armies are in this form at the moment. So you will, in our initial battle reports and stuff, see quite a lot of grey plastic, and over time we will introduce you to our painting, which isn't terribly good, but we'll talk about how we're getting on, what we're enjoying painting, and you'll gradually, hopefully, see our journey through learning Spearhead, playing Spearhead, and hopefully, probably not, but hopefully mastering Spearhead.
Yeah. So for 160 quid, safe to say you get a lot for your money. You're getting a lot in there.
This is always the best value for money way of picking up your stuff.
I think so.
Hopefully they'll print plenty of them and there'll be enough for everybody to go around. Often they sell out, which is always a bit frustrating. I still think they might do cut down versions. They often do a cut down version, don't they? Which doesn't have like the massive tomes and stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a cut down version which just has maybe, or even just like the core rules separately and the cards you need to play Spearhead separately. Maybe the Spearhead book separately. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people would like the book. It's a very nice book with lots of nice colourful pictures in it and stuff like that. But it's not very easy to play the game with this kind of book. And you'll probably want to print it out in PDF just so you can cut out the cards for the units and things like that. So, yeah, hoping to see all those separately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are putting those online.
Yes, the PDFs
will be able to print them out, which is quite good. I think it's a good way to do it because you can print them out more than once.
Exactly.
And then you can, if they get torn or whatever or lost,
whereas
you've still got them.
Books like this look fantastic, but are very inefficient when playing a game. Yeah. If you can get the PDF, you can stick it on your phone, and it's much easier to deal with.
100%. So that is Skaventide, which GW will be talking about endlessly between now and when it's released. Thank you again to them for sending us a copy. Yep. Let us know what you want to see us do. If there's any specifics you want us to drill down on, do let us know. Otherwise, we're going to go away and play a few casual games, not on camera, and see what we think of it. And then we'll report back how our first few weeks of Skaventide playing went.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you'll be notified of all our future content.
Absolutely. And if you want to, you can consider us supporting on Patreon. Most of our content on there at the moment is all Warhammer Underworlds, but we do have a Discord we can chat, and we're chatting about Skaventide, and ultimately we may do extra Skaventide content on there too. I have to say, I will just add a little thing. I was thinking about this release because we quite often get these boxes, but this box is the first box I've been really, really excited about, more than an Underworlds box.
Yeah, I mean, we started with Age of Sigmar right back at the start,
day.
Age of Sigmar version 1, when there wasn't even points to start with.
No, but I've never quite got the hang of it. But Spearhead, it feels like it's a really nice bridge between the board game of Underworlds that we play and the big tabletop battle of AOS, and I just feel like hopefully maybe
it might give us,
really enjoy it.
Might give us as much of just enough of a taste of the dynamic look of AOS without the painful, soul-crushing grind of trying to track all those special rules.
Yeah, so watch this space.